Hello, 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 and welcome to, first of all, my birthday. Okay, it's August 27th, but we are also having our Sunday session live here at the Creators Guild in Houston, Texas. It's not just me. I'm really hype. I know that y'all just joined and y'all somewhere in y'all jammies right now. Y'all got some tea, y'all got y'all notebooks, and y'all ready to take notes, right? But it's a party over here, okay? We have our live in studio audience. Let me hear you. Listen, okay. First of all, my tribe shows up. TDF is here. They are thick in the building. They brought me cake. They brought me, they brought me all the goodies that they know I love. I want to shout out some very special TDF members who had flowers delivered today for my birthday. Thank you guys so much. I've been receiving gifts all week, and I love you guys. So thank y'all for making me feel special on my special day. And this is why I said we had to do a Sunday session, because I love to give back to you guys, and spending time with y'all on my birthday is my gift to you. So thank y'all for joining, for tuning in live, for all of the, borderline threatening emails about me not having a live session. Okay. I heard you in my spirit. I said, let me get them this live link before I come up missing. So I'm happy that you guys are joining live. I'm happy that my live audience is here because it's 109 degrees outside. And I walked outside today and my spirit said, just go back. Just wait till 9 o'clock at night. It was hot today. So the fact that y'all are here, faces looking beautiful. Okay, you can't tell that you had to sweat to get up in here today. So I'm excited for my online virtual community. We do want you to be a part of the conversation. All right. So we want to see your comments. We want to see the things that you guys have to say. Just keep in mind, as you send in your comments, they do pop up on the screen. Okay. So you can submit your questions through the comment section. They will pop up on the screen so that I can see them and read them. However, if you have a question that is more personal and you don't want the whole world to know that it was you who asked the question, then please send us an anonymous email. Okay. It's tdftribe@gmail.com. That way our moderator can get the email. They're going to read it to me. And that way all your personal business ain't got to be on the video. Okay. So make sure you submit your questions online. Now for my in studio audience, first of all, I feel like Wendy Williams when I said that. Like, am I prophesying? Am I just a little bit? Just a little bit? Just putting it out there just a little bit. Look, birthday wishes. I don't know, like my own show, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But for my in-studio audience, you guys have your own microphone. So as y'all have questions for me tonight, we're going to pass you the mic so that our online audience can actually hear you. And we'll go from there. Sound good? All right. How we feeling? Scared? Listen, I hear I'm ready. I hear scared. I hear nervous. I hear I'm going to be quiet and hope she don't look at my way. Because if she don't look at me, I won't cry. I won't cry if she don't look at me. Okay, so I'm going to start the conversation with some anonymous questions that I already received to my email. And I'll start there, and then I'm going to throw you guys the floor. Sound good? To my moderator, am I missing anything? Because I'm notorious for missing stuff. Okay, all right. He said I didn't miss anything, which means I'm on a roll. Okay, this birthday is turning out well. Okay, all right. First question. Okay. All righty. Yeah. Listen, I was like, well, you can go with the opener. Okay. All right. What strategies can I use to improve my self-esteem and develop a more positive image so that I see myself in a better way? All right. So typically, when we think about improving ourselves, right? And we think about self-esteem, and what a lot of people don't realize is when they say, how can I have a better self-esteem? How can I see myself better? What a lot of people don't realize is what they're actually saying is, how can I get rid of the things about me I don't like? That's what people don't realize that they're saying when they say, oh, I wish I had better self-esteem. Oh, I wish I had better confidence. Because most times what we're looking at is all the things about me that I wish was different. I wish I looked better. I wish my stomach was smaller. I wish I was taller. I wish I had better hair. I wish my curl pattern was a more exotic. Right? And so when we're talking about developing a higher self-esteem, what we're really saying is, how can I get rid of the things about me that make me unqualified? When truly developing high self-esteem, a true belief in who I am, feeling confident in who I am, it's not in getting rid of the things about me I don't like. It's learning to love the things about me that I don't like. That's what makes you powerful, to be able to walk into a room and say, here I am in all my glory. Everything about me that I feel makes me great, everything about me that doesn't make me great, it's here. And you get to decide whether or not you want it, right? Every time we think about trying to tweak ourselves, it's always coming from a place of disapproval, right? You cannot have high self esteem in a place of disapproval. When I was going on my own journey for my y'all tribe, y'all have heard my stories. Y'all don't never get tired of hearing my stories? Nope. Y'all don't never get tired of hearing my story. Look, because every time I go, I'm like, y'all have heard this before. They're like, we don't care. No, but I always talk about how that time when I was just like, okay, Brittainy, I'm kind of fed up with this, right? It was after leaving that traumatic relationship, and I'm finally on my own, living life on my own in Houston with knowing no one, right? And I was like, okay, well, you can keep complaining about the things about your life that you don't like, or we can actually focus on the things that we have control over. And so I went and I made a list, and I made a list of everything about me I didn't like. Everything. From the way that I walked, to how I talked, to how I showed up in the room, the way that I thought, my history, my family, everything about me that just made me cringe when I thought about it. I wrote it all on a piece of paper. And then I separated them into two columns. The first column was everything that I had control over. And the second column was everything that I did not control. Because there are things about you that you don't really like, and you have no control over it. It's going nowhere. So if you wish you was lighter, okay, well, get over it. Okay. If you wish that you were more extroverted and you're really introverted, okay, well, we're going to have to work through that. Because what happens is we try to put all of our energy in changing the things about us that ain't going nowhere. Who your mom and daddy is, that's going to forever be what it is. You a little bit country sometimes. It's going to be like that. That's just what it is, right? And learning to love those parts of yourself. So what I said is, okay, so for everything that's in my control, that's what I'm going to work on changing. Okay, that bad attitude you got, we can fix that. That's fixable. Okay, the fact that you don't smile, okay, we can fix that. Okay, Elise just reminded me of my RBF today. And I'm like, but I'm happy. She was like, can you smile? Can you? I'm like, but I am smiling. She's, no, you know. But I thought I was smiling, right? There's things about us that we can fix and we do have control over. That's where your power is. But I'm going to have to accept the fact that I don't get along with my mama. I may have to accept the fact that my daddy never made me feel loved. I may have to accept the fact that, yeah, I had a baby in my teenage years. I may have to accept the fact that the relationship failed. There are things about me that I don't get to change. And they're not going anywhere. They're going to always be a part of my story. So what happens is I have to learn to love the things I can't change. How can I learn to love the parts of my story that makes me feel ashamed? How can I learn to love the parts of my story that made me feel little and made me feel like I had to hide? How can I learn to love the parts of my story I thought building the business or getting the degree would make me worthy of? Because that's what we do. We try to just cover it up with something. Okay, well, you know what? I had this baby at 16. Let me go get 5 degrees. Let me open 3 businesses. Let me prove to the world that I'm not what they said I was going to be, because they said I was going to never be nothing now that I had the baby. Our behaviors, and I tell people all the time, the things that we do and don't do is so much shaped and rooted in who we're trying to prove wrong. Let me prove to them that they were wrong about me, right? Versus saying, hey, I love me. I made some very bad decisions and got some very bad consequences, but I'm cool with it. It's what taught me how to be more compassionate. It's what taught me how to be more loving. It's what taught me how to be more kind. And if I give up those parts of my story, a lot of people don't realize if you give up those parts of your story, you're also giving up the parts of you that makes you beautiful. It's the part that makes you powerful. Right? When I was working with my PTSD veterans, they used to always say, man, if you could just go in my brain and just take out the memory of what happened, just take it out. And I said, okay, hypothetically, let's say I can do that. Let's say I can open your brain and I can take out every memory that hurt you and that was traumatic and that made you feel unworthy and made you feel like you weren't enough. Let's just say I've removed all of it. And so I took out the bad stuff, but you know what else I'm taking? Your strength, your resilience, the way you see the world, how kind you are, how helpful you are. I'm going to take a whole bunch of good stuff because even in the midst of the things that hurt us, they build us, right? And so we can't be so focused on what life did to me that I forget who life made me, right? So in building self-esteem, the question is not, what do I want to get rid of? What do I want to fall in love with about myself? What do I want to love on so hard that the world ain't got no choice but to accept? Accept me as I am or move around, right? And when you have that level of self-esteem, it's very clear that the world encounters you and is like, you know what, I can't say nothing that's going to hurt her feelings. You can't. Because I knew that about me before you did. And that's where you get unashamed. That's where you get unapologetic about how I'm living and how I'm showing up in this world. Because you can't say nothing to me that I'm not aware is already there. And I'm not hiding it anymore. It's here. Sound good? All right. How was that first question? How was the first question? Listen, so for my virtual audience, y'all, if y'all could see their faces, I'm like, this is only question one. This is only question one. So I will give you guys the floor. All right. Just anybody in the audience have a question that they want to start off? Y'all already been talking, so don't act like y'all ain't got no questions. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
All right. Is this on?
It's on.
Okay. Initially building off of what you said, right? With the self-esteem, self-confidence, those things that hurt you, like, because we'll focus on business or something else to kind of cover up, like, all right, I'm gonna show you, right? But can't that be like a true, like, well, let me say not can't that, but is that like a true fire to help propel you to that point?
Yes. And it's a good fire, right? A lot of people use that let me show you mentality to build great things in life, right? You underestimated me? Okay. I got some for you, right? And so it's great to have that fire as motivation. But what happens is when I've proved my point, now what? What am I left with? I still have the pain of not feeling enough. I still have the disappointment of what didn't work out. Because once I prove my point, what else I have to prove? Right? And so what we have to do is focus on proving my point for sure, but proving my point and being okay with who I am at the end of the day. Because at some point, you run out of goals. At some point, you run out of people to show who I really am to. At some point, you're going to be left with yourself. And if I haven't fixed the thing that was broken, when you reach that point where you've hit every goal on that list, the success will feel empty. Because I wasn't doing it to be successful or to get a certain dollar amount or to make something happen. I was doing it in hindsight to get someone's approval or to prove somebody else wrong. And even when you become successful, you still won't get those things. So you can use it as motivation to push you forward. But while it's pushing me forward, I have to still do the internal work so that the success is not an empty success. Right? And after a while, the motivation for the success changes. I started off doing this to prove to my daddy that he was wrong about me. And over time, it shifted into I started to prove to myself that I was worthy of it. Right? So that my motivation is no longer about what they think about me. It's who do I think I am? What do I think I deserve? I'm doing this because I deserve a better life. I'm doing this because I deserve this type of love. I'm doing this because I deserve this type of reality. It ain't got nothing about to do with you anymore. It's about what do I deserve? Right? And I think about that. That's my concept when I think about love and relationships. So many people go into the next relationship, right? I'm gonna prove them wrong, right? They was wrong. They should have never left me. Okay, you. Hey, girl. I'm sorry, I got distracted. But they go into it of I'm gonna prove this other person wrong. They was wrong for leaving me. They were wrong for abandoning me. So you get into the relationship with the next person, right? Really trying to prove in this next relationship that I was worthy of the first one, right? So if they love me, if they accept me, if they give me these things, then see, I was right all along. When the idea should be no, I'm actually dating differently because I deserve a certain type of love connection. I'm not doing this to prove that I was worthy of love. I'm doing this to prove that I always deserved someone who cared for me, someone who saw me, someone who had a genuine concern and desire to take care of me. That's what I'm doing this for. It ain't got nothing to do with you and how you perceived me. Does that make sense? So over time, the motivation does have to shift from other people to you because that's the only thing you what? Control. All right now. Listen, if you are not a part of the Daily Fix family, okay, the month of August, we have been talking about surrender and control. What do I need to surrender and what can I actually control? And that has been our theme as we are walking into our season of power. We have to really understand that holding on to things that we have no control over strips us of our power, right? So in order to be powerful and move powerfully in my life, I got to let things go that don't. I have no actual influence on the outcome of what that's going to be, right? What do I say? If your effort makes no change in the situation, that's not something you control. So what do? Surrender, right? And surrender doesn't mean defeat. Surrender doesn't mean I don't care. Surrender doesn't mean I'm walking away or I quit. Surrender means I'm releasing the outcome. This is going to be whatever it's going to be. I don't care how hard I try. I don't care if I kick, scream, whine about it, pray about it, go on the altar about it, strip myself naked about it. Don't care. It's going to be what it's going to be. And by holding on to things that I do not control, I'm sitting in a place with no power. And this is where you find your anxiety. This is where you find your fear. This is where you can't sleep at night. This is where you done lost your appetite. You're knocked off kilter because you over here trying to focus on what you have no direct outcome over. Make sense? How we feeling?
Real good.
The room gets so quiet and I don't know how to take it. Very good. Who has our next question? All right, Miss Kim with the boho braids. Let's do it.
In a follow-up or discussing what you're saying, how do you handle people when you enlighten them on the things that you're doing to be a better you, and they in turn become hurt by the fact that you're doing it for yourself and not for them?
So you're saying, how do you respond to someone who is hurt by the fact that you're making changes that are good for you and it's good for you, but not for them, and they're hurt? They're not the motive. This audience, okay, I need a live audience every Tuesday night. Okay. I need a live audience every Tuesday night. Okay. So surrender and control. I don't control someone else's perception of me. And I don't control how someone feels about the decisions that I make that are better for me. Right? That's number one. So I say that because sometimes we will find ourselves trying to control the emotions of other people that we have no direct control over. It can be unfortunate, right? That they feel as if her bettering herself and I'm not the motive many times feels like she may be moving on. Right? So sometimes it could be a matter of reassurance. Do I need to give this person reassurance so that they understand that no, you're not the motive and I'm still here, right? No, you're not the motive and I still want you. and I'm still committed. So it could be a matter of reassurance, right? You don't control how they react to the betterment of you. There are people who will be inspired by the better version of you, and there are people who will be intimidated by the better version of you. You don't get to pick which one they choose. So when you surrender, you're surrendering. I don't get to pick if you look at me and say, oh my God, she's bettering herself. She's becoming brighter. She's becoming bigger. How can I match her fly? Or she's becoming better. She's becoming brighter. She's becoming bigger. What if she leaves me? You don't control that. The only thing that I can do is give you reassurance that I'm still committed. And then you get to decide what you want your response to be. Right. And this is where, when we have partnerships like this, whether it's a relationship or it's a friendship, we can be available for people if they say, I see you bettering yourself. I see you, you moving in this direction. How can I get there too? I'm there all day. But I cannot explain myself to you. If it's you're getting better, you're changing, you're doing these things, why? Or who do you think you are? I know I've been with you since you were 16. Now all of a sudden you think you can go over here and buy Jimmy Choo? I don't know. Right? I was with you when you had nothing. Now all of a sudden you want to valet everywhere we go? Yes. Right? Because it's dangerous to hold on to people who are committed to being in love with the lower version of us. I posted something, and y'all don't never know when I'm posting stuff subliminally. Yeah, Brianna knows. But long time ago, I posted something because I was noticing a pattern in a relationship I was having. And the post simply just said, if you love me, don't clip my wings. Because you can't say, Brittany, I love you for everything that you are. Just don't get bigger than what you are. I love you for everything that you are, unless your follower count is more than mine. I love you for everything that you are, unless you're getting booked more than I am. If you love me, you have to understand that who I am today, baby, it's only getting better. I promise you that. I promise you what you see today, 5 years, this will not be the same. That's the commitment I made to myself. The men who are attracted to me are men who say, man, I can't wait to see who you're going to be. I need you to see me today and say, dang, she's still upgrading. Can you love me in my upgrade? Because this version of me is temporary. Does that make sense? She said,
I'm so glad that she brought that up, because I feel like I see a trend in culture, like in Black culture, of Black women like dominating. Like we're dominating. We're getting better jobs, making more money. We're looking better, like everything. And I feel like the dating, not for me, because God, but but I feel like the dating pool, when it comes down to the men, like when women talk about how they're dating in spaces where they are elevating, and the type of men that they used to attract still coming their way, looking at them like, who do you think you are? And then it's just like you struggle with, well, should I be looking for somebody that is on my level? And really like struggling with like I struggle with the definition of what does settling mean. And I know that means, okay, find somebody that loves you for who you are. But like you said, who I am is not who I'm gonna be. Like that's going to change. And I think it's hard dating, trying to be in a relationship with somebody who can accept that.
mm-hmm.
So how do you date moving up in the ladder of life, and that may not be a plethora of men that you can actually choose from? You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's more Black women that are like doing the damn thing,
mm-hmm.
than it is that we have to pick from.
Yeah.
And then people get mad at us when we date outside our race. But it's just like, for one, y'all doing it too. And then two, like,
Mhm.
How are we supposed to date with what we have? Like that, I think that's really what it is.
Yeah. So, few things there, right? Because what I hear you saying is, how am I supposed to date knowing that I'm continuing to grow, knowing I'm continuing to elevate, but also feeling like the prospects in the market are not elevating with me? And how do I pick someone who is going to elevate or who's doing the same things that I'm doing so that we feel equally yoked? All right. Okay. I ain't gonna go down that street right now because I got a slit on. Okay. Because I say that, right? Because we have to be very careful about where we're getting our messages from dating from. And we understand what those messages mean, right? So, one thing I will say this: abundance mindset. Everything I want is available to me. There is no shortages of men who are doing great things in this world that I can be attracted to, period. Because the minute that you give in to what's being given on social media, that there are no good black men or there are no good black men who are about their business or taking care of their families, the minute I accept that as my reality, that's what you're going to attract. And I'm not saying that you're attracting it, but what I'm saying is I refuse to accept that there is no black men out here who I can be attracted to, who can take care of me and satisfy my needs in whatever way I need them satisfied. That's my reality. That's the reality I'm choosing to believe, despite what is around you. Because it's around you. It's around you. I know. But in spite of what I see, I'm choosing to believe something different. That's my abundance mindset. Number one. Two, what I have realized between the sexes, men and women, when you say there aren't as many men doing the damn thing as women, there are, but they do it differently, right? They are, but they do it differently. There are plenty of men, right? I think I saw a post this weekend that said if you was a single woman, you should have been in an Invest Fest this weekend, right? Right? Because there was, boss men everywhere, boss men that's just on their stuff, taking care of business, doing everything, right? And I 100% believe that that's true, right? I believe there was attractive men all up and down that conference this weekend, okay? But I also believe that maybe 1% of them would have worked for me. When we talk about men doing the damn thing, it's not about how much money you make. It's not about what your career is, what your chosen field is. When you talk about men taking care and being who they are, I have to know, how do you show up in the way in which you meet my needs in a significant way? It's not about just getting the bag. And we can get the bag together all day, but can you hear me when I speak? Do you even value my opinion? Are you satisfied with my body, or do you want me to go get work done? Because natural ain't for you. Like, and I say this because especially in our culture, we have confused wants and needs. And we are measuring people by what we want and then divorcing them because they don't have what we need. So when we're dating, if I'm dating from a place of what do I need, and this is where the self-work comes in, because you got to know you to know what you need, right? I got to know, am I judging this person based on what I want that's going to make me happy right now today? It'll be great for us to go to Nobu and us to all be dressed in a certain way. But you know what? What my soul needs is for us to go sit in the park and to have a conversation. And I need you to see me. And I need you to validate me. I need to know that you're not going to judge me. I need to know that you accept me. I need to know that you actually care. That's what I need. Now that's rare. Because at Invest Fest, they all day. Where you want to go? What you want? You want me to fly you out all day? Just know that when you leave, your soul gonna be empty. Because I never saw you the whole trip.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I love that men are here. I love that.
Listen, we have Gregory. Gregory is also online. Okay, Gregory is a part of our TDF
I love
tribe.
when I see men in the building working on themselves. But I'd be like, when I come in spaces like this, I'd be like, where the men at?
And this
not
is
like that, but I'm just saying, like, I want us to like really, no, but I'm not saying like so we can date or anything like that. But I'm saying like I want us to be able to like shift culture together, because I feel like now it's like a gender war, and I don't really like that, because I feel like the women are attacking the men and the men are attacking the women. And when I like even like what you're saying, like it is rare to find men that will listen to you. And I say, if you're Black, you need to go to therapy, because 9 times out of 10 you have experienced trauma and you really don't even know it. And I think women are more accepting of like fixing themselves inside out. And I see, just throughout communities and like rooms, I have to constantly like convince or show, or show men like it's so many other ways to improve yourself, like self-development for men,
And this is
Black
where
men,
I
is
will tell
hard.
you that you're in the wrong rooms,
Okay.
right? You're in the wrong rooms. If I have to convince you of anything, I'm in the wrong place. That's how I know I'm not in the right place, right? The Daily Fix, we partnered with Minds in Motion Therapy. Look, y'all know I was reaching for it. I was like, well, who did we partner with? Who did we partner? Minds in Motion Therapy, right? It's a complete Black male therapist practice. Is that the words I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In DC, right? Their whole practice is committed to helping Black men, right?
Okay.
And I tell people all the time, a lot of people, give me flack, but a lot of my, especially couple sessions, are initiated by men. They're there. They're doing the work. They do it differently than us. And this is where women, we have to stop judging men for engaging in their process, how they engage in their process. You're not going to see men show up to my conference. You're not going to see them show up to other conferences either. They will show up to a smaller group setting led by a Black male therapist, right? They will show up to a basketball session where they're talking to somebody and getting it out. They do it differently, and they do it at a different rate. How they do it is not wrong, because they don't do it the way that I do it, right? Accepting people for who they are, accepting them where they are in their process means however you get to it, that's fine, as long as you get into it, right? Let's talk about our journeys together. Let's compare our journeys together. But I don't expect you to do it the way that I do it. And 100% women, we just move quicker. And just because we're moving faster don't mean that we're moving righter. Just because we think faster doesn't mean your thoughts are better. Because we think some dumb thoughts very quickly. We get there real quick and dumb, just real quick, and just that's what you came up with. Right? But men process slower, right? On average, there was a study done where it showed that on the average rate, I forget what the number was, but I think on average, women speak thousands of more words than men, right? That's just, we're a language sex. That's what we do. We do words well. But just because I do words well don't always mean that my words are good. It doesn't mean that my words are always building. It doesn't mean that my words are always right. It would do them well to speed up and for us to slow down so that we can meet each other in the middle and have meaningful, intentional conversations with each other. What you want is out there. Pace yourself and denounce the rooms that you are in. How old are you?
I'm 25.
Oh, yes.
But
Oh,
I'm an old
yes.
soul.
Oh,
I'm an old soul. Like, I don't
Listen.
like hang around people my age.
Listen, I've been 65 since I was 12. So I get it. And I'm saying that because even the fact that you're here at this age says you're going to be removing yourself from more environments than you are ready to admit.
It's painful. When you're doing it at such a young age, it's like,
Oh, yeah, don't, because the mic. Okay. But yeah, so that's the journey, right? And I always say if I'm constantly not getting what I want out of life, if things are constantly not coming, it's not life. It's me, right? What decisions have I made that don't honor me? What rooms am I going in that don't have what I need, right? So that I can make a higher, better decision to get me what it is that I'm actually looking for. All right. I was looking to see, do we have questions for online? Okay. For people who can't tell online, we have Breon moderating. He's doing an amazing job. Can we get a hand clap for Breon? He's doing an amazing job today. He hasn't told me I got on his nerves once today. He's giving me a few side eyes. Like when I you saw how he looked at me when I said, "Can we move the chair up?" Did you see how he looked at? I asked one question and I was wrong. Okay. So yes. Okay. Who has our next question?
I have a question while we're addressing relationships. I am moving into a new season where I am addressing my mother wound in a different way. My mother wasn't like this awful, green-eyed monster, but of course she had her stuff, right? And she unconsciously dumped her stuff on me. And so I'm in a spot where I'm releasing her emotionally. I am releasing her as in, okay, let me make sure mommy is good and make sure she feels better all the time.
Yeah.
And I am bracing, quote unquote, for the relationship dynamics to kind of shift and change and to be able to ebb and flow with that so that it can unfold organically. And I'm wondering if you have any suggestions, tips as I kind of go through this, because of course I'm still learning me. I'm still, coming out and being seen. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm still embracing a whole new side of me that is, Coach JC, and that is someone who, is not afraid to wear the bright colors and all that. So how exactly, do you have any tips on how to move about this as I, kind of embark on this, releasing her and more embracing self without feeling like I need to coddle her or make sure that she's okay or like, hey, is mommy proud of me? That kind of thing. So that's my question.
So it's going to be a mixture of boundaries, right? But also self-compassion, but the word I'm looking for is self-soothing. That's what I'm looking for. Because while I may have been a emotional support for my mother, right? To the degree that may have been inappropriate, right? To where I was taking on more of her issues or problems that weighed on me at a very young age, right? That separation, while yes, she gets the brunt of it, but you also feel it as well, because that's a relationship that had a very large piece of my life. So as I'm removing, what you're going to notice is a void. And that void will now make you doubt or second guess the decision. Like, okay, well, maybe I'm not doing this right. Or, who do I call? And I'm used to talking to her about this. And now what? Right. So this is where the self-soothing comes in, because if I set the boundary that separates the two of us, and now that void or that gap grows, the goal is not to go fill it back with more of her. The goal now is, how can I become what I just released? So this is where self-mothering comes in. This is where self-compassion comes in. This is where speaking to myself in that loving way, becoming I have a very nurturing voice with myself, the things that I am not going to be able to get from her because I set those boundaries. How can I do that for myself? And that's where self-soothing comes in. And self-soothing is difficult for people who have mother wounds, men and women, because when we think about self-soothing looks very much like what we would do with a toddler. So if I have a baby and the baby's crying, what we do? Pick it up, rock it, talk to it, kiss on it, love on it. What do you need today? My mother, I don't know why, I'm gonna put everybody's business out there. My youngest brother is 30. And he walked in, I'm on the phone with her. He walks in the house and she goes, "There's my boy. I said, hold on. Are we talking to this man like he 5 years old? It's a grown. I said, please tell me you talking to one of my nephews. She said, no, that's your brother. My 30-year-old brother? That's who you talking to? And mean every word. But that is what I mean when I say, when you create those boundaries, you do lose that, right? It's that certain level of coddling that you got used to, that certain level of cheerleading, that certain level of, baby, whatever you need today, I'm going to take care of it for you, right? It's still available. It's just going to come through you. Does that make sense?
We have a question. We have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so question from email. I often find myself thinking negative. How can I have more optimistic thoughts when my life doesn't feel optimistic?
I feel myself thinking negative. How can I have more optimistic thoughts when my life is not optimistic? So bad things are happening in my life, and I probably have every reason to think negative. See, that's the part that people don't get, right? Can we give ourselves permission to say, when things suck, I'm allowed to acknowledge that they suck? When things hurt me, I'm allowed to say that hurt. We don't have to hurry up and get back to happy. We don't have to hurry up and get back to, ooh, I'm so excited. I feel so blessed today. Because what if I don't? There's a community of people. Instagram don't help, because every time you log on Instagram, and it's the what they call them, platitudes, where it's, if you turn lemons into lemonade, right? That's a platitude. Take something bad and make it good. We talked about this in our group. Getting back to a place of wholeness within yourself doesn't mean that I have to hurry up and move through sadness. I have to embrace the sadness to get back to wholeness. I don't get to act like the sadness ain't there and think I'm going to get back to being whole, right? So when we talk about the negative thinking, it's identifying these thoughts are coming because my life is difficult right now. There's nothing good about going through a divorce. There's nothing good about losing a child. There's nothing good about someone telling me that they don't want me. We have to acknowledge that hurt. I'm disappointed. I'm angry. I'm unsure. I feel lost. And if you want to go all the way real, I'm pissed at God. Because I prayed, right? And fasted. I did the 20-day devotional. I went to the Bible studies. I did everything that I thought was going to get me the thing that I wanted, and it still didn't happen. And I'm angry about it. Or sometimes I feel betrayed about it. If you don't acknowledge the reality of the state that you're in, you can't get to a better state. So this is why I'm not big on hurrying up and getting back to happy. Because sometimes it's sitting in that sadness that you can ask yourself some very hard questions, right? I think y'all, my TDF tribe knows that this last season for me has been ridiculous, right? And that the season of power is preceded by the season of loss, right? What qualifies you for the power is surviving the loss, right? And when I've lost something, especially I lost something that was out of my control. It don't matter how much you prayed, you fasted, you went to church, you paid your tithes. You did everything that you thought was a cheat code.
Yes. It'll get me here real quick.
You thought it was a cheat code. Y'all remember, well, she's 25. But But when we used to play like the little Mario games, right? And my brothers would be like, oh, Brittany, did you put in the cheat code? Because you can skip levels if you put in the cheat code. And so I always made sure we had a whole list of cheat codes so that whenever we played the game, we can hurry up and get to the end, right? Not him remembering the cheat code. Listen. And so we don't even realize that as adults. Sometimes we use Christianity as a cheat code. If I do these things, it'll get me this. You finna head out? She said. So, but I say that because sitting in that sadness is where we ask hard questions. Did you even want this? Or were you doing this to prove a point? Did you really love them? Matter of fact, did they actually love you? See, sitting in sadness forces us to confront ourselves. This is why getting back to happy can be dangerous. This is why getting back in another relationship is dangerous. This is why getting back into certain cycles can be dangerous, because you didn't process the first one. What did the loss teach you? What did you learn about yourself in the loss? This is why the season of power is so freaking amazing, because this time I get to build a life based on what I actually wanted, and not what I built off of scarcity, not what I built because of abandonment, not what I built because of my fear of failure, But this one I built because it all went wrong and it still didn't give me what I wanted. So I might as well build what I think is going to make me happy this time. I forgot the question. I'm like, what was the question again?
Okay, so I moved to Houston a year ago exactly this month. A year. It's been a year. And I went through the season of losses, relationships, finances, job, everything. And now I'm in a season where it's all being replaced. Thank God. Amen. Okay, so now this is where I'm stuck. How we was just saying about a guy, it's rare to find a guy who your needs and who's there. He wants to do the picnics in the park and all of that stuff. I found him and I cut him off. Literally everything I prayed for, everything that I wrote down in my book that I asked for in a man, he's it. And I cut him off.
How long ago was this?
That I cut him off? Last week.
Oh, yeah, we can work this out. We can work this out. We can go to work.
I've been praying on it. I'm like, I need confirmation. Am I just scared?
You're not scared. You're traumatized.
Oh.
Okay. The season of deficit is traumatizing, right? Because what happens is I went through this season where I tried everything I knew how to try. Everything that I thought was in my control, I did that, and it still didn't work out. So it trains my brain to believe no matter what you do, bad things happen. This is why the season of deficit, if you don't do a mindset check, now I go into life expecting bad things. Because I went through that season where I kept believing that it was going to work out and it never did. I kept believing it was going to get better and it never did. So now here I am trying to look at this good thing and it's like, I've been here before. I know what's going to happen. I know the end of this story. It doesn't work out. So when you come out of a season of deficit, the mindset work that has to happen is retraining myself to believe that good things are possible.
Yeah.
Right. And this is where we detach from the outcome, right? Because he's a great guy. He's everything I prayed for. And I'm okay if he is it. And I'm also okay if he's not. That's the season of power. To get there, I have to really do my own mindset work to say, okay, what if it doesn't work out? What if he ain't the one?
What's the worst that could happen?
I already been through the worst that could happen.
Right.
I've already survived the worst that could happen. Heartbreak ain't nothing to me. You know how many heartbreaks I've been through? You know how many times I believed they were the one? So if you're not the one, I think I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's training myself to believe I don't have to run from the things I'm afraid of because I've already defeated them.
Whoa.
I don't have to run from a fear of rejection. I've been rejected too many times. I don't have to run from the idea of you leaving me. I've been left before. But what I am going to do is honor the fact that I'm worthy of a man who sees me.
Ooh.
Curiosity is what we said, right? We said that in the season of power, we don't have to attach ourselves to the outcome, but we will remain curious. I don't have to say I expect something to happen, or I expect this to work out, or I expect him to be the one, but I'm willing to be curious. Okay, well, let's just throw caution to the wind. Let's just throw caution out the window and say, I'm curious to see where this goes, because so far you treat me the way that I deserve. So far you've shown me that you're worthy. And I will only close the door on you the minute that you prove to me that you're unworthy. That's my gift to myself. This ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm gifting myself somebody who sees me. I'm gifting myself someone who loves me. I'm gifting myself someone who treats me right after all the hell I've been through. I deserve someone who treats me in a certain way. And I say that I want you to see the mindset shift is this ain't about him. It's about you. Because the same way you cut him off, you'll run from the job opportunity. You'll run from the business. You'll run from the promotion, because in your mind, you haven't trained yourself to believe after all the hell I've went through, I am worthy of this win. I am looking for good things because I've proven my worthiness of it. right? And TDF, we already paid for what? We already paid for it. The way they quote me, it's okay. No, it's supposed to be 90. Okay. Okay. All right. Does that answer your question? All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Do y'all know that we gift ourselves people? We gift ourselves experiences. When I say, Brittany, I'm doing this for you because you deserve it. I'm allowing you to lean into this connection because it makes you feel loved. I'm allowing you to experience this goodness. So often we run from things that feel good because of the fear of what happens if it's taken away. Life is built of moments. Moments. And we have more bad moments because when the good ones do show up, our anxiety robs us of them. Well, what if they hurt me? What if they don't like me? What if I'm not cute enough? What if they reject me? And so instead of just enjoying the moment, you robbed yourself of it, feeling like you weren't good enough for it. When we find ourselves in good places, the best gift I can say is, I don't even care what the outcome is. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this right now. Because I deserve this laugh. I deserve this joy. I deserve this love. I'm not worried about what comes next. Next, we'll deal with it when it gets here. But right now, this is a good moment. And I'm gifting myself this moment by staying present, by being mentally and emotionally invested in the now and detaching from what will be, because we don't know what will be. We went down the whole, what if tomorrow never happens? What if tomorrow never came? At least I had this moment. I cannot with y'all. Like, Virgo. Virgo. Because that's what we do, right? We rob ourselves. And coming out of the season of deficit, I had to say that was one thing sadness taught me. It was, Brittany, you didn't enjoy your good moments enough. You didn't like, you were there, but you weren't there. You were there, but you were always thinking about what was next. You were there for a little bit and then you shifted into, well, we got to do this and you got to do this. We got to go move it. We got to, and there was always an agenda. And so you were there, but you weren't there. There are times, tell y'all all my business. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Sometimes depends on my mood. But there are times if I'm really enjoying my presence with someone, I will pause, right? And this is in a dating environment. I'll pause and I'll just stop talking, and I'll just be there, staring at them, looking at them, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I tell them, "I'm creating a mental memory right now. I'm creating a mental image of your smile. I'm creating a mental image of what you smell like. I'm allowing myself to capture this moment. Whether we work out or not, that's, I throw this memory away. But if it don't work out, hey, recycle bin. But I want to remember your laugh. I want to remember how you feel. I want to remember how you made me feel. And I learned that because I was in my season of understanding, learning who I was. Okay. I did a lot of dating, and I always dated with anxiety. Do they like me? Am I pretty enough? And sit up straight. Don't eat your nachos like that. Don't lick your fingers. In my head instead of in the moment. So when I left the date, I couldn't even tell you if I liked them or not, because I was so focused on what was wrong with me. Sound familiar? when you have come to terms with everything you are. I mean, Brian will say I do it too well, but I walk in like, shoot, I know you like me. I don't know what the question is. That's not the question. It's not, are you attracted? I'm attracted. But what is your presence like? Right? The questions become different when you're secure within yourself. What is this person's presence like? Do I feel safe? Do I feel like I can talk to them about anything? That's what you're looking for. Makes sense? All right, who got the next question? Do we have any online questions? Thank you, Savvy Medical Scrubs from Happy Birthday. Can't just do it too. Listen, I love you guys online. Y'all are cutting up in these comments right now.
From the email?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Simple. How do you know if you're really healed? That's it.
Oh, all right. How do you... It is a loaded question. The simple answer, I'm gonna throw all y'all for a loop. Everybody gonna cuss me out right now. What if I told you that we're never fully healed? Yeah. He said it's the Matrix. Red pill, blue pill. He said it's the Matrix. It was a setup this whole time. Healing is a continuum, right? It's not like a light switch. It's not on and off. It's, if you think about it in gradients, right? Where we have shades of healing, right? Now, if you just in, threat level red, it means you're bleeding. Bleeding needs to be addressed immediately, right? It's like in the hospital. If you got somebody coming in with a gunshot wound, the gunshot wound is addressed before the headache, right? Both states need healing, but one is more emergent than the other, right? When we talk about healing, I think a lot of people do think, one, the first question I always get, how long is it going to take? How long is this going to take? And I did that. I did that to my therapist. I was like, look, I got to go back to school. I got stuff to do. How quickly can we get this done? And he was like, unfortunately, there is no time frame. He said, we can work on some stuff and see where we get, but it is what it is, right? Healing is on a continuum, and you will find that you can heal from one thing, right? And then have another wound, right? And sometimes the process of healing uncovers more wounds. So healing is never, what we want to do is aim to not be in threat level red where I have my gunshot leaking everywhere. That's the goal, right? Where I can get to a place where my wounds are not driving my decision making, where my wounds are not forcing me to push people away, right? Or make decisions that are self-sabotaging and hurt myself. That's the goal. I tell people the goal is not to get to a point where you are moving through life and nothing hurts you, right? You will know when you're in a healthy place with your process, when I can be hurt and still make the healed decision, right? I can be disappointed and still make the healed decision. I can let them go and still make the healed decision, right? I can be betrayed and still make the healed decision. That's where I know I'm in my healed space, right? What is your response? My PTSD veterans, I tell them all the time, I'm like, for the rest of your life, you will remember what happened in combat. There is no pill I can give you that's going to take that away. But how do you respond when you have the memory, when you have the flashback, when you have the dream? That lets you know where you are in your process, right? I used to have a guy, every time he had a dream, he would hop out of bed, grab his gun, and then search the whole house to make sure nobody was in the house, right? So, of course, that's disruptive for him. It was disruptive for his wife, disruptive for the kids, because they like, it's 2:00 in the morning. Why is daddy running around with a gun? Right? He was like, well, Brittany, that's the only thing I have to do that or I don't feel safe. I said, but are you safe or are you still confined? Because that dream just ran your entire household. Your trauma is running you. You're healed when you're in a place where I can have that dream. I can have that nightmare. I can have that memory. And I say, you know what? I'm anxious. I'm sweating. My anxiety is up. But I'm safe. I'm going to go back to sleep now. It doesn't mean that it never happened. It doesn't mean that I still don't have side effects of the happening. But I can make a healed decision despite what happened. That's what healing looks like. It's not to get to a place where it doesn't hurt anymore, where you don't cry about it anymore, or I don't remember it. You will always remember it. But how do you respond when you remember? Do you shut down? Do you isolate? Do you need a few days off from everybody because you got you and your emotions? Or can you say, oh, you know what? This was a tough moment for me. Let me lean into my support system. Yeah, I saw y'all. Instead of isolating, let me lean into people who love me. Instead of getting the drink, let me sit down and journal. Look, the healed decision. You have another question? I saw you picked up the mic. Oh, okay. Because y'all, Breon has a habit of just cutting me off. I can tell when he get tired of me talking. He always say that, but I think it's personal. I think he get triggered and he'd be like, I'm tired of listening to her.
That's all it is.
It can go long.
Okay, so my question is funny because it has something to do with your own healing process. So personally, I'm on my journey of, self-healing just from, just on a journey to become the best version of myself.
Right.
So I realized that this is my journey. I have acknowledged that, hey, there are things that I have been doing that self-consciously, whatever my experiences have brought me here. So I am taking account for that and doing what I need to do to show up as my best self.
Right.
So my question is, that's personal, but what about the people around you who are not also experiencing this aha moment and they do bleed on you with their own, issues? Like I have a particular friend that we were kind of talking about a little bit earlier, but it's a result of the blood is as a result of her own personal, issues and what has happened to her. So experiencing that trauma, me trying to be a good friend and be understanding and showing grace because I was there. So again, my question is, when you are in close proximity with people who are not really committed to healing themselves, like, do you continue to give grace, or how much grace should you even be given? Like it's kind of, I want to be there. I want to continue to be understanding. I want to show grace because again, yes, I understand I was there, but it's sometimes it's like it's too much blood because you're not showing up as the person who I once knew. I know that person is hopefully in there and I'm praying on that person will come back out again. But right now I'm not getting that. And how long should I be subjecting myself to this particular like behaviors or patterns?
Yeah. Very good question, because I think a lot of people experience that and don't know how to respond, right? The first thing is recognizing, because one of the things you said is that I know what it's like because I've been there, right? Understand when we come from certain backgrounds or we have experienced certain traumas or certain hurts and certain pains, it creates a high tolerance for dysfunction, right? So many times we will hold on to people, places, and things because I understand it. I get it. I know why you're acting this way. And so even though it may not be right what's happening, I tolerate it because on some level it's familiar, right? So the first thing that you have to recognize within yourself is, am I tolerating dysfunction because I recognize it, right? Or at one point in my life, I was kin to it, right? That's your own self-awareness, because sometimes you will find yourself connected with people that you probably shouldn't be connected with simply because you understand their dysfunction. And just because I understand your dysfunction doesn't mean I have to tolerate your dysfunction. That's number one. Two, relationship inventory, right? I always preach the relationship inventory is where I take stock of this relationship. Who was she before this personality change happened? What value was she adding before the personality change happened? And the version of her that she was before, do you think that she could support the version that you are now? Right? And it's not to say that that's a bad thing about her, or it's anything negative about her, because we all have our own individual journeys. We all travel in different paces in different directions. But the truth is sometimes is that what we have in common is our history. Is this someone that who I am today, that even if she got through whatever's hurting her, would she still be able to support me on the capacity that I am now? Would she? Right? And that's just a curious question. It doesn't have to be a yes or no. Sometimes the answer is I don't know. But I want you to really think about that. Based on the relationship we had before, would they even be able to support me with who I am today? Then I want you to look at having an honest conversation with her, right? If this is clearly, it's a very close connection. Close connections deserve a conversation, right? And it's saying the same thing that you said, is that, hey, this is how I've been experiencing you. And I know you to be better than this. I know you to be more stable, or more happy, or more joyful, or whatever the qualities about her that you enjoy. I know that there's a better person in here. Do you think that better person is coming back? Do you want that better person to come back? Because sometimes we want other people's healing for them more than they want it for themselves. And if she's gotten stuck in a place where, and hear me, sometimes being broken serves me. Because as long as I'm broken, I can blame everybody else. As long as I'm broken, I don't have to take accountability. As long as I'm broken, I can complain, and I never have to actually take action. Whether or not she's in a place where she wants to be healed, I don't know that. I feel like you know it, right? So then you have to make a decision for yourself to say, one, what do I want to do with this connection, right? What are the levels of boundaries? Because boundary is not always, I'm just kicking you out of my life. Many times the boundary could be, hey, I want you here, but I can't have you here like this. So if you want to be here, cool, but this is what's required on this side of the fence, right? And that conversation could be the motivating factor for her to say, you know what, let me take this seriously. That could be the motivating factor for her to say, dang it, if she walked away from me, this must be serious. We don't know that. But the only thing that you do control is how your relationships around you are affecting your own personal growth and development. So if this is a relationship that is weighing more on you or draining you more than what it's pushing you forward, you have to give yourself permission to put proper boundaries in place so that you're not having side effects of bad relationships in your life. And the longer we hold on to the wrong people, it blocks the good ones from coming in, right? So when I elevate, and I say this all the time, if I'm elevating, if I'm moving forward, I'm anticipating people coming into my life on the new level. This is why you have to, if you see yourself moving forward, or if you see yourself going in promotion, if you see your life changing, don't let it catch you off guard that I have to look at who's on the level with me. Because everybody that's on this level ain't going to the next, because there are people on this next level waiting for me. So don't let it catch you off guard if all of a sudden me and this friend ain't as close anymore, or we don't talk as much anymore, or we're not available. It's normal. But you can't fight that process. Y'all gonna have all my sayings. What stays, stays. What goes, goes. Right? That's releasing control. You can stay or you can go. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I do know I'm moving forward. And whatever happens, happens. I release control of that outcome. Thank you, Mia. You have another one?
Hello.
Hey, girl.
Hi. My name is Brittainy too.
Hey, Brittainy.
Hi. I just moved here in January from Buffalo.
Okay.
Just wanted a fresh start or whatnot. been through a lot back at home. So I just brought me and my son up here. My question to you is kind of, when you move on and you're trying to become a better you're in a good space, you're happy, but you have someone that keeps coming in and keep trying to bring you down, and you block. It's like you can block calls, you can block the number, but they still try to find a way in to bring you down. Like, how do you deal with that type of energy? Like, and it's not by choice to me. It's like I kind of have to kind of deal with it. Not that I have to, but
what's the connection?
It's my child father.
Okay.
So it's kind of, he's 12. So it's kind of still a little, and I'm trying to do better for me and my son. I'm trying to give him a better life. I'm trying to show him different, but I still have this person that's still trying to bring me down.
Mm-hmm. In what ways does he do that?
I feel like trying to talk my son against me, just speak bad of me, just a lot of verbal abuse, mental abuse. So how do you overcome that? Like, how do you kind of shift away from that? Mm-hmm. And I know, like, you can't really answer that. Like, you can answer it, but you can't tell me, like, like what to do, but you can give me your input and how to deal with it, how to handle it. Like, because I block calls and everything, and it's still like, now you fly in and you're popping up at the house and everything. And it's just like, I'm trying to cut all ties, like everything. Mm-hmm. And it's hard.
The things that he says about you, why do they have power over you? Mike. He's just saying, talking to Mike.
Turn it on. Can you say that question again, please?
When he speaks poorly about you, whether it's to your son or other people or to your face, why do those things have power over you?
It's just a hurtful situation. It's just hurt. Like, I don't know. It hurts. I don't know. I don't feel like it has, I don't know how to really answer that. I don't know.
And I say that because your son is 12, right? Yeah. Which means I'm guessing a significant amount of time has gone by without you guys actually being together.
Yes.
And when I am connected to someone, their opinion of me matters. When I'm connected to someone, you speaking poorly of me hurts.
Yes.
When I'm connected to you, how you see me affects how I feel.
Yes.
When I'm not connected to you, I don't care. Talk about me to your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother. Put it on a blimp and have it go out throughout the city. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's a reason why he's putting that much energy into you, and it's because he knows that he still has a place of control in your life. People don't pour into places that they don't feel like there's an outcome. If he really felt like he wasn't getting some type of response from you that was significant, he would have stopped a long time ago. There's still a connection there that you haven't killed. And I don't think that it's that you want him in any way.
Right.
It could be that there was a way in which he made you feel loved that you're still connected to. There could be a way in which he made you feel secured or chosen that you were connected to. There could even be a dream that you thought was going to happen in that relationship that you're still connected to. There's something about that connection that is not dead. Your job is to figure out, why is this connection still alive and where do I need to go to kill it? Because somewhere there's still a life force between me and this person. And that's the only way people, what they say or do has any type of power over you, yeah. Right? Kill the dream, kill the perspective, kill how you saw them, kill how they see you, right? But you're going to have to do your own stuff, because the things that he's doing it's not about him. It's about you. There's something there that you have to kill in order to release that connection. And once he realizes that that's gone, you won't hear from him anymore, because he's getting a rile off of the response that he's getting from you. That's what's keeping him coming back. Okay. So when he sees that that's actually dead, he won't be motivated anymore, because the motivating factor is gone.
Yes.
So for you, your work is to figure out how and in what way does that relationship still have power over me in my life.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people still in relationships that they were out of like 5 years ago. Because mentally and emotionally, physically I left, but mentally and emotionally there's still something there. Right? And it's with people that you don't want, you genuinely don't want them. You know that they're not a good person. You want nothing to do with them. But my heart was still in love with the dream of what I thought it was going to be. My head, I still envisioned them as the person that I thought they were going to change into. I'm still in love with the dream I had of what this was going to be. That's what I'm still connected to. It has nothing to do with who they actually are in their reality, because you probably didn't even want the reality of them. You wanted the potential of them and what you thought they were going to be and what you thought they were going to do. And that's what you fell in love with. You broke up with them for who they really were. So that means I have to kill the vision. I'm not telling y'all all my business today. I'm not telling y'all all my business. Stay there. I remember, and this is not in the, oh, y'all getting, okay. Yeah, because this is not in the book. This is not in the book. So what's not in the book, who has read Made for This? If you haven't read Made for This, okay, it's on Amazon. Just, search it, Brittainy Noel. But I remember my cousin, I wish she was here today, the day that in that relationship, the guy that I was with, the dream, I realized that I was in love with the dream of him and not him. And she was over, yes, I was shacking up. Okay, people. Okay. Tell Jesus on me. Okay. But she came over and I was having an okay day. Right. And he was there and I do not know what he gave me his phone for. I couldn't tell you, but I went into the kitchen and she walked in because I found pictures. And these were pictures of him with his newborn child. Oh yeah, he had a baby outside of our relationship. That's not in the book. And I stayed with him, right? Because he was saying, Brittany, doesn't matter. I love you. I choose you. That was a breakup, baby. Technically, we weren't together when it happened. Look at her face, right? And so I stayed, and it was, moving forward. None of this is going to happen. You're the one for me. We have a connection, all that BS. So I stayed, right? Because you're telling me this is what it's going to be. Baby came, went to the hospital, and I'm telling myself, no, Brittany, this is what it's going to be. This is it. This is what he said, right? And so I found the pictures, and they were innocent pictures, him, the child, and the baby mom. And when I saw that picture, when I tell you, it was like God was like, so did you add this in your vision? Cause you had the dream, right? You had the dream that y'all were going to be together and y'all were going to have the house and the kids and the picket fence and we were going to be the power couple, and you had that dream. So did you add this into it? You ready to kill your dream now? Because what you thought was going to happen, the thing you've been holding on for, it's gone now. Unless you're ready to add this other child. Are you still in love with that dream? And I remember my cousin walked in on me and I was just staring at it like, are you going to add this? Are you really going to add a whole nother baby to stepmama? You going to add that? And she was worried about me because I was shaking. I was like, Brittany, the dream you had is gone. What are you here for? Like you physically cannot love him in this condition. So what are you here for? My dream died. So after that, the way in which I interacted with him was so cold. And by that time, of course, he's trying to get his life together and, but I'm gone. Mentally and emotionally, I was gone. Physically, I was still there. But mentally and emotionally, I packed my bags and was like, this is not what I fell in love with. And this was the first time. And this is why I don't judge nobody for their process. Because it took me a whole baby for me to finally say, Brittainy, he's not who you keep telling yourself he is. He's not him. It's hard. It's heartbreaking. But when the dream dies, you get your freedom back. Because I was handcuffed to something that was never real. Something this person was never going to be for me. It's heartbreaking. It literally shatters your entire world. But you get your freedom back. Does that make sense? How are we feeling? Take some deep breaths, y'all. Take some deep breaths. All right, we're going to take one more question. Oh, that was a hard one. See, this is why y'all gotta this is why y'all gotta attend my live shows, because I would never share this on Instagram. Y'all gonna let the world know. And I remember when I was writing the book, I was like, gosh, should I put this in the book? Yeah, so no one knows that. But yeah, he had a whole breakup baby. And I stayed throughout the entire pregnancy until the baby got there. And I was like, you finna go buy hampers? Okay.
Okay. So I am back out here in these streets. I don't know.
Back in the streets?
Okay. And so I remember when we first started talking, you told me like it's important to get out there, right? But you didn't tell me I was gonna have to deal with all. Okay, so my mind is everywhere. So first of all, I just met this man. And I didn't already make sure the last name match my first name. How we gonna pick up these kids? These kids don't exist right now, honey. And then on the other side of it, I'm like, do I text back now? Do I wait? I mean, how do I feel? I really don't care. Am I supposed to act like I don't care? Should I even be dating right now? I'm not at 2.0 yet. I'm about 1.5, you know? So I need you to help me unpack this, because I'm excited because my hope is back. But then I'm like, who am I? What am I doing? And what does this part look like? Because right now it looks like a lot of excitement, but chaos and confusion.
Okay. So first of all, I cannot with y'all. So online community, they just said, welcome back to the streets. I'm going to the streets. Listen, wear your seatbelt. Okay. Let's embrace the chaos, right? Because especially where you are, like I tell people, dating is not a bad thing. Okay. Yes. The people you date can be exhausting if all that tells you is this is not the connection, right? But dating should be fun, because this is where you're finding what you like, what you don't like, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. You're learning to set boundaries. You're learning to ask for what you need, right? Dating is where I learn about me. It ain't about them. So first of all, reframe what your dating process is, right? And you may not be in a point where you're dating with intention. Everybody's not ready to date with intention. Until I understand myself, who I am, what I want, my wants and my needs, and my vision for love and relationship, I'm not ready to date intentionally, because I don't know what I'm intentionally doing, right? So dating at different phases in your life is for you to explore, right? It's like window shopping. I'm just out here seeing something. And when I get tired of seeing something, I'm going in the house, right? But it's not about them. It's about you. So you first have to ask yourself, if I'm going out here, what is my purpose? Am I here to have fun? Am I here to learn myself? Right? For one season of my life, I was like, Brittainy, I want to learn how are you going to be feminine in a man's presence? Well, you know what you have to do? Be in a man's presence and practice femininity. That's what you have to do, right? So many of those connections was about me learning how to be feminine, and it had nothing to do with do I want them? And I definitely wouldn't mention no last names. Now listen, I am a Virgo. Okay. All right. Imaginary is what I do. Creating things that don't exist is what I do. Okay. So you have to be, that is a self check. When am I creating a false reality? Right. And only you can check yourself on that. So when I see myself, okay, well, let me see if what's your sign? Are we compatible? No. Slow down. What is my intention here? My intention here is to have fun. My intention here is to get to know this person. My intention here is to be in his presence and not be guarded. My intention here is to tell the truth about who I am. My intention here is to allow myself to be in this moment and enjoy it. Focus on your intention, not what you think he's going to be for you. Does that make sense? You're going to learn more about yourself through the people that you date, because one, you're going to learn your deal breakers, what is appropriate, what's not appropriate. But you're also going to learn what feels good, what you like, what you want to have more of. You're going to learn those as well, right? More than anything, you're going to learn how to set boundaries. No, sir, I don't do Netflix and chill. But if you would like to take me out on a date, I'm more than happy to do that. No, sir, you can't come to my house. But if you would like to go out and get nachos today, I'm happy to do that. Don't judge me in my nachos. Okay? Does that make sense? Do what feels good to you. And when it does not feel good, exit stage left. Right? Your dating season is for you, not for other people. All right, y'all. How we feeling? Just a little bit? Oh, I didn't do good enough. Well, okay, so my tribe who's been with me the longest says that I don't feel successful unless somebody cries. So thank you for making me feel successful. I don't feel like I did my job unless somebody cries. So thank you. I said at the beginning that I take everything I do seriously. And I hope that whatever you guys came in here for, you got, right? Even maybe something you didn't know you needed that you got, because that's what we're here for. And that's the only reason why I show up. So I appreciate y'all for being present to my online community. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Tamika, Audacia. How are you guys doing? I'm so glad that y'all joined live. If y'all want this every day, join the Daily Fix. Okay, TDF, make some noise. We just do this all day, every day in the Daily Fix. We do a lot, but we have fun, right? And we hold each other accountable, and we support each other. That's what I love about our community, is that if you're going to suffer, you ain't going to suffer by yourself, right? And we help each other move through the hard places, and we celebrate each other when it's time to have fun and celebrate. It's not all about the bad. We also make sure there's some good in there. So if you want to join the Daily Fix, you got it. Yeah. Or you just go to dailyfix.co. And then Confidence Couture, as you guys can see. All right. Confidence Couture. All right. Now, this dress is not on the website. But I do want to get a maxi on there. But yes, everybody wearing Confidence Couture today. Thank you guys so much. It looks great on you guys. But yes, this has been a successful Sunday session. To my live community, thank you guys for joining. We will be able to give you guys the replay. I guess I should be looking there. We will be able to give you guys the replay. And I'm just happy. Can I say thank y'all for making my birthday special? Thank you. I love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful day, and good night.